All right, welcome in. We have severe weather that we are bringing to you live, cutting in here to let you know about a tornado warning that has been issued for Clark, Crawford, Cumberland, and Jasper counties. This is a brand new tornado warning that has just been issued, and we're looking at the areas down here, as you can see, right on the Cumberland county line there. We're talking about areas that are just to the south and west of Hidalgo, just west of Rose Hill. It is in this general area right here where we have rotation on the storm, where the National Weather Service has just gone ahead and issued a tornado warning. So again, just so you kind of get your bearings straight on all of this, because I know we have a lot of you that may be tuning in. If you're in Champaign, if you're in Danville, if you're in Decatur, if you're in Springfield, there's no severe weather for you. This is down near I-70. Okay, this is going to be right there on the Cumberland, Jasper County line, heading into Clark County there as well. It's going to be on this southern edge of this, as I'm just kind of pointing out, where we have that rotation on this, and it is heading to the north and east. So it's going to be crossing over 130 here before too long. Running here on that north and south route there that comes out of Cumberland County, comes out of Greenup there, and this is the area of concern for where that tornado would be. Now, this is a radar indicated tornado, but it is in that area where that potential is for a tornado to form. We've been watching this carefully over the last hour or so, and we have seen the slight uptick. So here's kind of a loop of the storm. So you kind of see the general direction that it is moving. So you can see where Casey is located. And so you've got Casey up here into Clark County. Okay, there's Greenup right there. And then this is the cell where we've got some of the rotation on the storm. So this will be crossing over 130. It's going to be right there as we come right along that Cumberland County line, Clark County line. This is what we're watching, that storm that has now just got the updated scan that just came into us, that's sitting right over the Hidalgo area, and that is where that possible tornado is located. What we were actually looking at were some of the velocity signatures in there, and they were broad in nature, but enough for the Weather Service to go ahead and say, you know what, it does look like we've got some rotation in this, and it's located right there. You can see where some of those reds and greens were, and now passing here to the north and to the east. And so that is the biggest concern that we have here right now on our storm. The National Weather Service has this warning in effect there for portions of Clark, Crawford, Cumberland, Jasper County, and that's going to go until 12:30 a.m. here tonight. So tornado warning continues in effect. I know that we also have meteorologist Jacob Dickey, who has been out in the storm tracker here with us here tonight. Jacob was, when the last time we had talked to him, Jacob was right there south of Casey and going to be watching that storm come in. And Jacob, I know you're also in kind of an area there of rough cell phone reception there. So we're going to keep kind of checking back in there with him to see if we can get a report from him when he comes back to us. But right now, there's probably a pretty good little hail core that's right there on 130 near Hidalgo, and that's going to be heading towards Hazeldale. It's going to pass probably just south of Greenup, as you can see. So Greenup is just right up there at the top of your screen. And so the tornadic part of this is, again, right there on where those three counties are kind of coming together. So I know those of you that may be watching in Casey right now in parts of Clark County may be kind of wondering what's going on in your area there. So the biggest concern is going to be coming into Clark County here in the next few minutes, right along the Cumberland County line as well. This is going to be right there, Jasper, on the Jasper, Cumberland, Clark County line is essentially where some of that is located. We can do a little bit of a path for you. We've got that lined up. We'll switch over and show you our other radar system here. And it's going to show the path. So we go and pull that up, and you can see there it is, the areas that could be impacted by this over the next half hour or so. You can see Yale here in just the next few minutes. You get to Olive Church, Moonshine, popular place down there. make some great burgers down that way, if you've heard of it before. That location at about 12:05. So this is going to the northeast here. And Seth, you had the last clip. It was going at about what speed would you say?
Going about 55 miles an hour.
Okay, so 55 miles an hour, so it's picked up in speed there a little bit. And you guys can let me know if we do get Jacob back up there. You can let us know. I know that he kind of had some sketchy service area where he was located, but he is on that storm, so he's going to have eyes on it for us. So that's the good news. We had him in the right position there in place to get him to be able to see what's going on all night. He's been tracking things for us for most of the evening from north to south, and now we're starting to just get these storms tonight. So that's why we've had to come in here for you tonight. We do have a tornado warning that is in effect that the Storm Prediction Center, or that the National Weather Service has issued, and it's going to be around Casey here in the next 5 minutes or so. And I tell you what we'll do, since Jacob is down there on that storm. Jacob, what's your location there? And tell us what you're seeing. I can hear the rain, and we were just talking to you before we went on the air, some hail maybe down there, and you're right near where that storm is. What's your exact spot? What are you seeing?
Yeah, hey, Kevin. I'm about 5 miles south of Casey and about 2-3 miles west of Moonshine on 49. They're right in the corner of the Clark County area, that bottom left corner, the southwest corner. The rotating storm is only going to be, 3-4 miles here to my west and southwest. We're still on the edge of the rain there. Once we get off the report, we're going to move to the south. I don't know if we'll get to talk much more here. Cell service is not great in this part of the world, but wanted to give you an update on that. A lot of heavy rain. There has been some small hail, probably some hail with this from Hidalgo North, a couple miles south of Green up there. And so we will kind of backtrack our way. For planning purposes, I'm either going to cross the river at Hudsonville or I might go north towards Marshall. We'll just kind of see. I know the Wabash River is going to affect things for chasing purposes. But in the meantime here, going to keep a very close eye as this area of rotation will be coming very much close to our location. We'll be bailing to the south here pretty quickly as we are south of Casey by about 5 miles. Live at the Storm Tracker, I'm Jacob. I'll send it back to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jacob. So again, he is right here. So we had you there at Casey, about 5 miles. He's there on 49, and so where it kind of curves around there, takes that to a little bit of an elbow jog, is where his location is. That's Hazel Dell. Down here is where we've had some of that rotation showing up with this, and that's going to cross over 49 here before too long. And again, the potential is there for a tornado to occur. The National Weather Service issuing the tornado warning, and this goes into Clark County. So I know those of you that may be watching us in Marshall, anywhere there along I-70 are kind of questioning, okay, what are we seeing here with this? Right now, Hazel Dell, you should be in your tornado safe spot there near Advance. Again, Moonshine, you are also technically in that tornado warned area. You're talking about areas from Oak Point, Bel Air. There's the New Hope Cumberland Church that's located down that way. Those areas right there along 49 and then heading as you cross into Clark County is where you're going to want to be in your tornado safe spot. So there's 49. You can see it right there in the center part of your screen. It is going right here to the north and east. So the general movement of this is going to take it right through here where that rotation is. And so while it is a very broadly rotating cell, it has been in an atmosphere that is somewhat conducive for a tornado to develop. You can see all the lightning strikes that we're getting with these as well. And I know some of you may be watching up in Marshall. I mean, that's a pretty good storm that's on top of you guys in Marshall right now. Not tornado warned, probably dumping, maybe even some hail. I know you've got a ton of lightning in Marshall. You've got a ton of lightning probably back towards the Martinsville area. That entire stretch along I-70 between Casey and Marshall is a light show there with all of those lightning strikes that are showing up. But again, if you look at this, kind of the strongest cell is the one that's now coming into Hazel Dell, just north of Advance, where that lightning strike is. And it's right on that corner where there might be some of that rotation, very broad in nature, but it is now pretty much sitting right there on 49, where we were kind of talking about where that jog is on 49 that kind of comes across. So it did look a little bit better in some of the previous scans that we had, but the storm is kind of in the stage where it will cycle kind of up and down a little bit. But you can see how fast the storm is moving when that first initial warning got issued. all the way back here. So that's no longer, in effect, half of the warning. It's out of half of the warning box that it was once in. So it is moving at a pretty good clip here to the north and east. And as we mentioned, Jacob in position there to see what that storm develops and what it does. So we're coming up here upon the midnight hour, just a minute away from heading into your Wednesday morning, the 28th of February, and we do have a tornado warning that is in effect. So the main area of concern is, so literally it's going to be where those three counties, the corner of all three of those counties. You're talking about Jasper, Cumberland, Clark, and we can go ahead and also just say Crawford as well, where maybe almost all four of those counties come together, and that general area is where that concern is. And so the corner of those four counties that you're looking at, so I'm just going to kind of draw them out a little bit more for you. So you got the four counties right through there. And so that is the general area of concern, is exactly where that storm is. So if you live at the corner of any of those counties, you need to be on the lookout as this storm continues to move off here to the north and east. Again, just to show the rest of you that may be watching us here tonight, yeah, there are other storms, but none of these are severe. They're behind the cold front. These storms are not going to be producing severe weather. Like Moequa and Assumption, we're not concerned about tornadoes there. Yeah, you may have some lightning, and you're going to have some heavy rainfall. I wouldn't even rule out maybe some small hail, but the tornadic threat with those has diminished as they've fallen behind the front. The same thing goes for those that may be watching us in Ogden, maybe watching us close to the Broadlands area, Fairmount, Royal. I know you guys are seeing some lightning strikes here tonight. None of this is severe, and what's even more wild, and if I can do this just for a moment, while I've got you here, the backside of this, there's freezing rain happening now back towards Jacksonville and possibly towards Springfield before too long. So this is a multifaceted system that right now potentially is also producing a tornado on the warm sector of this, where the temperatures are still up here into the 60s. And so we're just got the new radar scan in there. Again, still some very broad rotation that is just going to be east of Hazeldale, probably right at that jog, as I mentioned, on 49. Okay, that little kink that you see, almost kind of close to where that lightning strike is. And I'm going to go ahead and shut the lightning off there for now. Right where that little kink is on 49 is where essentially where you would have some of that rotation with that storm. So that's going to come close to west and north of the Moonshine area, if that would continue to move off there to the north and to the east. Again, the winds could be the main issue with this. We are looking at, let's see here, just reading some stuff from the National Weather Service. They were talking about how the rotation was looking less organized on the lowest scans of that storm, but still at some of the higher scans showing some decent rotation. So the front itself, we've been talking about this cold front that's been kind of moving along. If the front has already passed, by some of these storms, it would kind of diminish it. It becomes what we call elevated. And when that occurs, then you get less of that rotating part of the storm here. So that it's kind of going back and forth because we're really close to where that cold front is located at this time. I've got an updated scan here for us, I believe, that we can show you of the time of arrival of some locations. And we've got Seth in here. And Seth, you've painted the picture there of some of the towns and talk about some of the locations that might be impacted here over the next few minutes.
Yeah, like we've been saying, this thing is moving pretty quickly. It's got some speed to it, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour. So the closest places to that center of rotation right now, you can see Moonshine kind of buried underneath that cone there at the moment. And that will be the first place that we could see potentially there in the path of this storm. Aside from that, we're kind of looking at some other places. Like you said earlier, the Mount Olive Church now just about 5 minutes away there, according to the timer. It's about 12:04. That's set to be there at 12:09. We've also got a couple other spots there, like the Island Grove Church, 12:15. Also kind of looking down the line there, one of our more populated towns in the path of this thing, Marshall, still set to come in at about 12:25, so still about another 25 minutes away. Interestingly enough, I believe they have now issued severe thunderstorm warning kind of upstream of this. We're obviously still watching that center of rotation down there as it is still around the Moonshine area. But as we just kind of look ahead, there's probably quite a bit of hail in there. Notice the gusts picked up quite a bit too. Had a reading just north of this in Paris at about 49 miles an hour. So the winds really starting to really starting to whip up there as well. And we just kind of take a look here at the rotation now, kind of moving off the screen just a little bit there, but you can just kind of still see the broad rotation just a little bit to the southeast of Moonshine there. So that's kind of the places that we're still continuing to watch as it pushes kind of south of the I-70 corridor there on its way to the Illinois-Indiana border. So eventually it is going to scoot its way on out of here with how fast it's moving. But that's currently the situation that we're looking at right now. And I believe we're having some troubles with Jacob's image, but I believe he said something about he can see a lowering where he's at.
I just read that from him, that he was saying that there is a clear lowering behind him. And so, that is something that he is seeing. He is down in an area, if you've ever been down there before, it is a rough cell phone coverage area. And that's, obviously the technology that we use. But if you're down near Moonshine right now, not a heavily populated area. I don't know, some of you definitely go there during the day for some lunch. But that is exactly where that rotating part of the storm is located right there. So there's Moonshine right there. Okay. And so you're going to have where some of that rotation is located right there. So that is now firmly in Clark County. So that new updated scan, it is no longer in Cumberland County, Jasper, or Crawford County. It is going to be now firmly a Clark County only storm. And so they're probably going to either update that warning there or let it expire here pretty soon, because the tornado warning, okay, there it was. Speak of the devil, there it was, cut back, and you can now see it now pretty much firmly there into Clark County. So the rotating part of that storm, and where you probably got some decent hail, you can see here, this part right here where this purple color is located right there over Mariah. Now that you're probably doing some quarter-size hail within that. Whenever we get some of those purple pink returns coming to us, that's some very large hail. So this now, again, just going to be northwest of Moonshine, a really close call down that way. It is now east of 49. And again, Jacob was down in this general location, and I know we're fighting to get his signal back for us. If he comes back, I'll just let our have our crew let me know. But I know that he is down there, out there in some of that rural area of Clark County, southern Clark County, down that way. But just kind of show you that view again. KZ, you're no longer in that tornado warning, so the threat for you has diminished. Even Martinsville, you're kind of barely on there. And then again, it does not extend all the way to Marshall and I-70. So right now, it's a small area where we've got that tornado warning that's in effect. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of look at it again, pull out what we call our little scope here. And I don't see a whole lot. The rotation has definitely weakened from some of the previous scans. What we'd be looking for is more of those reds and greens kind of right next to one another. And I'm seeing far less of that in the area when we're kind of looking at some of that velocity, which is good news, because that usually is an indicator that, potentially that rotation has weakened. And I think what we were talking about, how that front may have gotten past the cell itself, it reduces the rotation with it. You don't get some of the same dynamics in place. And so I think at this point, we do have a weakening storm, which is some definite good news. But I think there's still some hail in that. And the hail probably was coming down there, possibly south of Marshall before too long. So a pretty decent storm. A lot of lightning on those storms as well. And I'll switch that back on. And I know that Jacob has been down there. Jacob, I think we've got you shot up there. You're down there traveling. We see some lightning. What's your location and what are you seeing down there? I see you on screen there, and the lightning that's showing up.
Yeah, hey Kevin, we're about 3 miles east of Moonshine now. I'm gonna turn around real fast. Moving speed. I want to stay in front of it.
And as we mentioned, so again, there's
I think we just passed
coverage area. I think he's kind of, we'll let him get killed there on his shot, and then we can go back to him once he's kind of, there we go. So there's his shot right there, and you can see some of the lightning, and you can almost kind of see some structure to that. Jacob, I think now that you're kind of settled in there, talk about the structure that you're seeing when the lightning lights up the sky, what you're seeing.
Yeah, so there's an area of lowering here, an updraft with where that rotation was. It's hard to see first off because we're at nighttime, but it's straight west of me down this road here. I'm about 2-3 miles east of Moonshine, looking back to the west now. With the storm speed, been staying in front of it, and we'll continue that. But have not had any signs of any sort of wind on the ground. We'd be looking for some power flashes if there was any sort of damage to the electrical infrastructure. That has not been the case, but there's certainly been a lot of rain with this and plenty of lightning as well here. And that lightning has been our friend for a while. I would suggest maybe the lightning has come down just a little bit in the last 5 minutes compared to the 5 minutes prior to that. But still, there's quite a bit of that out here, and there's more of it even ahead of this as you get to that storm lighting up Terre Haute behind me here. Back to the east and northeastern me, I see a lot there. Currently, storm tracker temperature, Kevin, is sitting at 57 right now. I'm thinking we're in the rain-cooled side of things. Maybe some outflow pushing out might be affecting things, but we'll see. We'll keep up with the storm and see if anything happens with it. So that's what we'll do here in the storm tracker. Live to the east of Moonshine, located in Clark County. Kevin, I'll send it back to you.
Okay, so there he is again, out there tracking things with the severe weather for us here tonight. There's the updated radar scan. So there he was. So there's Moonshine again. He was just east of that. And so that storm now going to be going into more of the heart of Clark County, where that storm is currently located. And we just kind of back this view up for you once again. We've been hearing from some people here tonight that are saying, listen, it's windy out here. We've got a lot of winds with this, and we do. These are non-thunderstorm winds, and what we can do is we can punch up our max system here that shows those wind gusts. Take a look at this. Winds are gusting to 43 miles an hour in Decatur, and these are not even really associated with thunderstorms. 37 in Champaign. And look at Paris. Paris had a 49-mile-per-hour wind gust here recently. So those of you that are watching us, and again, a big thanks to all of you who are tuned in right now on our live streaming that we're doing. We're doing the live streaming online. Many people go on there. They want to take their phone or laptop or whatever to their safe space, and so we're actually streaming online. And I'm looking at some of your guys' chats. Also, you can download our weather app if you need to watch the streaming on there. But I've been looking at some of the chat, some of the messages from you guys out there telling us, hey, it's really windy where I'm at. What's going on? Well, none of these are associated with thunderstorms. But more of this cold front that's coming through, powerful area of low pressure. And so while we've got some lightning strikes here, none of this is severe weather per se associated with, thunderstorms and whatnot in our area. We've had some lightning strikes that are showing up here and there. I know Danville has seen some lightning strikes. We've had some lightning strikes here at the station. Looks like there's some more that are kind of down near the Shelbyville, Findlay area. But none of this is actually with severe weather. You want to know something else that's pretty wild that I can show to you here when we look at this? Temperatures. Look what's happened to the temperature now. And in Paris, it's 65. It is now 41 in Champaign, 37 in Decatur, 30 in Jacksonville, as those temperatures have just been absolutely falling off. And now on the backside, some areas are dealing with freezing rain. They're dealing with some snow. We've had some reports of that back towards the Jacksonville area of that. And you can see by tomorrow morning, those temperatures are going to be down into the 20s to start the day. And those wind chills could be even lower than that. So that's what's happening here with our storms right now. We're just a few minutes away from our tornado warning expiring. So we'll stay with it here just for a couple more minutes with you guys to get you through the duration of this here until 12:15. Expecting that storm to be exiting out of there before too long. Again, we have seen a general weakening pattern with this as far as the tornadic part goes. But boy, there are a lot of lightning strikes that stretch all the way into portions of Clark County. Jacob is back with us here again. I got a nice little shot there of some lightning lighting up the sky. What do you got there?
Yeah, hey, Kevin, just moving to the east here, and just to my north is the old updraft. I could see it in the lightning flash on through. This storm, as you've mentioned, has clearly gone through a weakening phase. Not really, I don't think there's going to be anything more that comes from this. The lightning is also really tapered down on this cell. The one in front of me, you're seeing some lightning. That's actually over by Terre Haute here. And then the other thing to mention is that I believe the cold front may be catching up to this, because I can see the leading edge of a shelf cloud in front of me and to my south. So this storm probably is losing that humid, unstable air, and that's why this tornado warning is probably not going to last all that long. So as far as things go with this particular storm, We are probably close to being finished with it for a while. So that means, Kevin, I'm not really that much more concerned for places like Melrose, Walnut Prairie, West Union, Snyder, places like that in parts of Clark County. That's my report here. We're going to sneak our way to the east towards Route 1, maybe make a trip back to the north. We'll keep a close eye on it for you, but I think we're getting through things pretty good here and probably don't have much to report from anything this storm might have done. Hadn't seen any indication of damage or a touchdown or anything like that, so we'll let you know. Live in Clark County to the south and west of Melrose by about 2 miles, I'm Jacob Dickey. We'll send it back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jacob. Appreciate it there. Again, that storm is now heading into Terre Haute. Our friends over into Indiana are seeing that storm come in. As a matter of fact, we've got a camera view that we can show you of that storm that's just crossing into Indiana now. And there it is. And you can see the lightning strike. The courthouse is there on the right. This is actually, I used to work in Terre Haute down there. And so that courthouse there on the right there, located downtown. And you can see that they are now dealing with that same storm that's kind of coming out of Clark County, has continued to strengthen. And so this now becomes more of an Indiana problem before too long, but quite a bit of lightning with that heavy rainfall. They do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect out into Indiana with that. Again, the tornadic part of this cell is just now starting to kind of get into the center part of Clark County, heading towards Anderson. It is probably going to be expiring or canceled before too long. You can see where the warning is. That is the back edge, and boom, as soon as I say that, there goes the tornado warning. So here's what we're going to do here. We're going to, in just about 1 minute, we're going to send things back to regular programming. In about 1 minute, what I want to do is tell everyone that we are streaming online. If you'd like to continue with this, at WCIA.com on the weather app, news and weather app. We have streaming on there. We're streaming on Facebook, Twitter, all of our social media handles that you can find us on. And so we're still going to be on there, but for the on-air purposes, we're going to go ahead and go off. I know that there are still a lot of areas fighting some storms out there tonight, some gusty winds with these, some heavy rainfall and some lightning strikes. As of right now, the tornadic threat has diminished. That cell now pushing into Indiana. And so now we're just going to be pretty much now dealing with that cold that we've been talking about for the last several days that is going to arrive. Going to feel much different by tomorrow. Again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be online streaming. Hope you all stay safe. Have a good night. Okay, those of you that are still on here with us with our streaming, thanks for sticking around here with us. Predominantly, again, our storms are going to be moving out of our viewing area, as you can see, so there's not really a whole lot left. You know the drill with us. We like to come on. We like to tell you what's going on here, no matter what time of the day or night it is when we've got some of those warnings. And the good news is it does look like that the severe weather threat is going to be winding down. And I know some of you maybe say, boy, there's still a pretty little north that's back there, north of Shelbyville to Bethany, Finlay. And yeah, there's some heavy rainfall in there, and you're going to have some thunder and some lightning within that. But again, it should not reach severe limits. That's going to be a good old-fashioned thunderstorm. If you're a fan of those, you like a good old-fashioned storm, then that is going to be for you. Otherwise, it's about to get a lot colder. And again, as I keep mentioning here, the storms on the backside are about, or I don't want to call them storms, but the precipitation on the backside of this already switching over. And you can see getting close to freezing rain in Springfield and Jacksonville. And it's unbelievable just how different it's going to be feeling outside here between, tomorrow morning and what we had here this afternoon. So already seeing that, we have on the same radar in a matter of, 30 miles, freezing rain and snow to, lightning and thunderstorms. So, and the temperatures there show that, you're 30 in Jacksonville. Now, you're even now 46 in Paris. You can see where that little sliver of where that yellow was down into Clark County is where we still had, some of those warm temperatures before the front came through. So, again, I know many of you may be saying, it's still storming out here. These are just going to be general good old-fashioned thunderstorms that will not have winds over 60 miles an hour. They will not have tornadoes with them. They're behind the front. They're behind the better dynamics. The temperatures are now falling into the 40s here. Again, and the worst part of the weather now is going to be in Indiana. So our friends out in Indiana, and again, I used to work in this market down here. So I know that you're in good hands with the fine meteorologists that are down there. Our sister station down there, Jesse Walker's down there. I used to work with Kevin Orpert. So, good crew down there that can get you through tonight as those storms probably, as they continue to kind of race along I-70 and, head towards Indianapolis maybe eventually. But Terre Haute to Indy now is going to be that area of concern. That cold front is is going to eventually kind of catch up to all of those storms and put it into things. But that is a pretty decent storm that's over the Terre Haute area to Brazil right now. So again, that's over in Indiana. That is out of our coverage area that we really kind of cover here in Illinois, obviously being stationed here in Champaign. So we like to give you a heads up about things and stay on here with you as long as we can. But predominantly, things are kind of calming down, even over into my neck of the woods where I grew up. Some lightning strikes over that way. I know if you're watching us over in Vermilion County and Danville, you've had some lightning. But again, I'm telling you, in the next 1 to 2 hours, it might be snowing in your location. So just kind of keep that in mind. Appreciate the whole weather team that's been here with us here tonight. Adam, of course, in this morning was telling you guys about the storms, and Seth has been in the studio with us today, and Jacob's been driving the storm tracker all over the place here all day long from north to south, just tracking the storms for us. But as I mentioned here, it does look like we're pretty much going to be done with this. I'll put just one more little loop of all of this on there, and you can kind of see how the storms are moving off here to the east. You're probably going to still have some hail potential, especially as those temperatures come down. That freezing level is pretty low. It doesn't take much. So you're going to have, maybe some hail or some sleet mixing in here, some freezing rain. So just kind of be aware of that as we head into tomorrow morning. So again, as far as a severe weather threat goes for tornadoes, things like that, we are not concerned about that here for the rest of the night. Okay, that's going to wrap things up for us with our live stream. Still, I know there's a good chunk of you, good 300 of you that are still with us here right now. Again, we appreciate you guys joining us here tonight, but we shall sign off here for now. And if anything changes, of course, we'll let you know. But I think we're good. Thanks to everybody here again. I see all your chats on there. Nikki, you are welcome. And everybody else that chimed in here throughout the course of our stream. You know how we do it here at WCIA, always covering the storms for you, day or night, whatever storm it is. And there's warnings. We're on here. We're streaming. We're on the social media platforms like this. So bookmark us, follow all of our pages here if you haven't done so already, so you get alerts and notifications when there is bad weather in the area, so that you get notified next time. And we've been doing this for years here this way. And so we want you guys to make sure you're with us each time this happens, because I have a feeling we may be doing this a few more times here coming up in the spring. You got to remember, it's only 28th of February right now. Severe weather season, meteorological spring, technically begins on March 1st. And that severe weather season really kind of goes through June in our neck of the woods. So we've really got 4 months where we got to be really on guard, March to June, essentially, around this area where we could have severe weather. So again, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for joining us. I hope you all have a great rest of your night, and we will catch you guys on the next one.